All over the world, more than 100 countries is facing climate issues. But the thing is that when it's time to talk about Britain's heat waves, then it becomes no longer rare weather events. It is really a bigger crisis. Since 1839 to today's 2025, they are facing massive climate crisis. They are facing massive climate changes. The heat waves. The heat waves has completely changes the ideology of Britain's climate change and also the UK's ideology of climate facing and climate impacts. We all know that this is the time in Europe that all over the world, since water shortfalls is only one of the biggest crises at present, like global crisis and global emergency, and simultaneously and parallelly, Britain's and London's is extremely facing waterfall crisis. We all know simultaneously like Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, Cardiff, from the all over the areas which is extremely requirement for water, they are facing the water shortages, and it's completely impacts on farming, completely impacting on weather changes and also climate change and also huge amount of global warming scenario. And then this is the time to discuss about why Britain is facing these kinds of heat waves, and this is not new. We all know in the past years they have faced this kind of situation, but still now they are facing on the other one of the long term of effects, and they are facing these kinds of heaters are more than 31 degrees, which is extremely in crisis. That they have already reached 33.4 degrees Celsius, which is very, very, very crucial because Britain temperature is not the making this kind of scenario, not facing this kind of scenario of more than 30 degrees in a very short, very long time is more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It is a very, very crisis, and this is also disrupting, also hampering the local lives, the daily lives, the school lives, the college lives, also the job sectors, each and every parts. Already the government has made the multiple discussion regarding this, but the thing is that why the crisis is become a massive in Britain when we're talking about the heat waves, because the first thing is rising, definitely the rising global temperature, because human greenhouse gas emission are warming the planet, and even a slight rise in average global temperature dramatically increases the frequency and intensity of heat waves in temperature regions like the United Kingdom. There's another thing is the urban heat island, which is cities like London, Birmingham, and Manchester trap more heat due to concrete, asphalt, and reduced green cover, making heat waves deadlier in urban centers. This also the thing is that since 1836 until now, they are facing these kinds of issues that we I already discussed. That is waterfalls, or this lace of water storage, which is very, very important, and this is the major crisis for making these kinds of issues. And also the United Kingdom and Britain's the changing ocean currents is very, very important. The jet stream disruption, which is also another crisis of unusual climate effects, unusual heat waves, which is also a crisis. But this is a alarming situation because Britain's this kinds of alarming crisis is very new for the particular scenario on the regarding of more than 30-degree temperatures on the each and every part of United Kingdom and also the Britain's each and every part, and they are already facing this kinds of scenario which multiple days. Another thing is always making a concern of Arctic warming, which is extremely in crisis, and this may fall this kinds of scenario. But the thing is that what should be the process? There should we always tell that there should be a process of green energy transitions, renewable energy sources to use properly. We always tell there should be a proper management of water management, storage of water. Unusual rainfall or zero rainfall is also a crisis of heat waves, and also the simultaneously the warming scenario and greenhouse effects is also the crisis of this kind of scenario. So why this kinds of crisis when we're talking about this kind of scenario, we all know the emission efficiency is important. But the thing is that Britain's temperature is not reaching this size of more than 30 degrees is earlier. But the thing is, this time scenario is almost in the crisis, and it's a time to concern that what should be the effect and how to save the people on a bigger purpose on upcoming days from the future crisis is in front of our climate emergency and climate crisis. So there should be the proper water management plan. There should be a proper ideology of crisis. There should be a proper structure that how to save a country this kind of scenario, what should be the education's growth on the regarding of climate education to the common mass to save these kinds of scenario, that what should be their thinking policy, what should be their plan that should be implemented immediately. The government should think in proper manner. The first thing definitely with use of technology, with use of proper ideology regarding of green transition and green effects, and what should be the proper use of renewable energy sources, and also there should be a proper structure of water resource management, which is very very important, because water crisis and shortage of water is the global crisis. This is a time to discussion, this is a time to think, this is a time of effect. So we always discussing this kinds of farming issue also crucial, because farming lands are facing this kinds of major crisis for climate issues and climate impact. So this is the time to discuss not only a Britain issue, it's time to global impacts. From Britain, it's more than 30 degrees, extremely high price. From the rising global temperature, it's an extremely crucial scenario. So this is a time to think on a bigger purpose, on a bigger perspective, because when we know that COP30 is very fast, is very soon. So this is the time to discussion regarding on this. Thank you.